how do you want to do it? Do you want to do the intro?
I think there should be a jingle.
Well, we just tried getting you to sing for the
I
sound
know.
test. Do you have any suggestions
I don't
for the
want to do the
jingle?
jingle.
You don't.
You piss me.
Wait, it should be like a. Do you know when they like welcome to 616 Radio? Like serious shit.
Yeah.
Put on your best like
Yeah.
broadcaster voice. The latest in comic book news. Even though we're gonna bulk record it and it's gonna go out weeks later.
Yeah.
What about like a loud noise? There we go. That's
Welcome to
it.
six.
Just welcome to six. Just welcome to six. Welcome to six. Okay, well that's what we're using as the intro, because I've started recording. So, so there we go. This is gonna be the first of hopefully many, depending on how it goes. Ryan, say hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. How are you
I do what I'm told.
after our eventful morning watching Civil War?
I feel depressed.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Quite a lot of war films lately. Um,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about your opinions because you said that you had notes on the films that we've been watching, or at least Warfare, a little bit
Yeah.
later on. But
I did.
first, we're gonna be talking about some Marvel shit because that's what this is. This is the whole point. This is why we're here.
Yay.
Our existence is fully reliant on Marvel.
Disney, our Disney overlords.
Exactly. I'm the biggest shill. Just the biggest shill. That was why we named it the 616 Radio. It can't be whatever DC call their core universe.
Yeah. They
Possibly
don't understand.
also 616, I don't know.
I'm sure Disney will soon get the rights to DC and then it'll all be in the same universe.
Yeah. Oh, I need to add something to the list because you've just reminded me.
Yeah.
Good, great. Well, let's start with that since it's on theme. Have you seen Deadpool and Batman?
Yes.
How do you feel about
Yes, I
that? Is
have.
it
I
and Batman or versus Batman?
I think they're together. They're like team up.
Well, that's evolved quite quickly. They're now together.
I think they're gay for each other actually in it.
More than
A
likely.
little bit. Deadpool's definitely gay for Batman and I could foresee that happening.
If
But
it's
yeah.
versus, who's winning?
Probably Deadpool. I don't know. Everybody is always like Batman could beat anybody, but like Deadpool can't lose a fight because he can't.
He can't die.
I mean, I guess once Batman figured out that he couldn't die, he'd probably just cut off all his arms and his legs.
Keep him in like a contain. No, because then he'd
Yeah.
make like multiple Deadpools.
Is that how that works now?
I don't know. I don't know how Deadpool regeneration works, but I would
I don't
assume
think that his I don't think his limbs grow whole new Deadpools. I
like
think it's like a
worms.
lizard. No, it's like a lizard where he's just it slips off and it's gone.
I would really I'd find it hilarious if that's how they do it in the comic and they're like, "Oh, well Batman's going to chop off all of his limbs and just keep him as a torso." But then suddenly more Deadpools start to grow and now he's got to
That would
fight
be
like 5 or
insane.
6 of them.
Like, oh god,
They would
it's
just
like the
drive
worst
him
Hydra
insane.
ever.
They're
Yeah.
all in the Batcave in like cells or whatever, just fucking yapping away. He'd hate it so much. But
Oh god.
this
Yeah.
is the first. They've only ever done like maybe like 2 crossovers in the comics, DC like and
Yeah.
Marvel or DC versus Marvel. I'm gonna Google it real quick while we're yapping. So this is like completely unprecedented. They've not done it in literally forever. Do you think it's a step towards us getting it in live action?
I don't actually think that they'll ever do that. It would be fucking insane. It'd be so funny to just have a random one-off like movie where the DC and the Marvel universe like the timelines collide and they fight it out and then they have to like work together and then they never see each other again.
Yeah.
They just go back to their respective universes and they're like, you stay on your side of the timelines and we'll stay on our side of the timelines because there's like
hmm
a split down the middle where it's like Marvel and DC. The branches of the tree go in opposite directions.
So I've just googled it now, and what I found was there was a Superman versus Spider-Man comic ages back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah.
who's winning that one. Uh, and then there was a DC versus Marvel run, which was it looks like 2 to 3 issues, so not a lot. Back in the 90s, back in like 1996, I think. And
hmm
it's got like Wolverine versus Lobo. It's got Storm
Oh
versus
no,
Wonder Woman.
I have a comic book. It's Wonder Woman versus Deathstroke. Oh wait, no, that's DC. Cut that out.
You got
Cut
so
that out.
excited about it.
I forgot. Yeah, because Deadpool and Deathstroke are the same character.
On this preview image, it's got Superman versus Hulk. It's got Batman, Captain America. It's got the what's his fucking name? The edgy punk Superboy from the 90s with the leather jacket versus
90s
Spider-Man.
Superboy.
Yeah, yeah, 90s Superboy.
Oh, one
It's got
second.
Namor versus Robin.
What
That
the
Oh
fuck?
no no oh, no, it's okay. It's Aquaman. It's Aquaman. It's Aquaman versus Namor. They're just positioned
Okay.
weirdly on the poster.
I
I was
was
like,
about to
that's
say,
an unfair
Robin's gonna
fight.
die.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not a very
what?
fair fight at all. Holy shit! But yeah,
Holy shit.
that's probably the biggest piece of news in terms of like recent comic book uh news. Recent
Yeah.
comic book
That
news.
crossover is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, that's
I can't
pretty big.
imagine Batman dealing with that well. I just can't. I feel like it's gonna be terrible for him.
I can't wait to fight. Like, I don't understand the middle ground for like the current climate that we sit in with. Like, oh, I'm a hardcore DC fanboy and I'm a hardcore Marvel fanboy. Like, how do you please both sides
Yeah.
by doing this? I don't. They're setting themselves up.
I mean, I don't know. I think it should all be a bridge. I think we should all be able to enjoy both universes. So I hate that it's all competitive and shit. Like there can only be one top superhero universe. Like who really gives a fuck? They're both very similar. Like
Yeah,
if you put it down to like like if you start connecting the characters, it's they do it in a different way, but there's only so many superpowers you can come up with.
it is like very tribalist, and I don't get why. I don't
hmm
understand where it comes from. What are you fiddling with? Are you eating something?
I'm drinking water. I'm staying hydrated.
As opposed to my energy drink.
Yeah, I'm not a monster.
Okay, so the next, probably the biggest piece of information that's come from the MCU that I wanted to bring up to you.
hmm
So two things dropped. One of them is big for me, personally. It's not big for the MCU at all. But I want to drop it in here before I hit you with like the big one. So, the big one. So, Joe Locke said that his Marvel contract was a lifetime deal.
What?
Yeah, he came out with a quote saying that he signed his contract to play Wiccan in I don't know if he was just taking the piss and it's just maybe a long multi-term contract. I didn't know they even did the multi-term contracts anymore. I was under the impression that they stopped those, but yeah, apparently he's set to play Wiccan now forever. Just
That's kind
for
of
the rest of
insane.
his life, yeah. I hope that that's true.
I mean, I'm sure it's not like a specific number. It's just like anytime they can call him up and be like, "You want to be in this movie?"
Yeah,
He'd be like,
that's
"Yeah."
yeah, that's how
I
I
hope
kind
that
of
that
saw it.
contract is like negotiable for his like pay and everything, because certainly he'll become more popular.
Well, you'd
So
like to think, but he is one of those homosexuals.
yeah,
The internet not
I
a
don't know.
fan.
Listen, those gay people, man, they're the biggest fans.
They are literally carrying right now.
It's insane.
It's terrible.
It's not terrible. It's great. I
It's
love it. It's
terrible.
part of the agenda.
Our agenda, our joint agenda.
Our
Uh,
joint agenda.
so the actual big news, the effective big, it's a weird one. So I don't know if you've seen it, but Chris Hemsworth, have you seen this?
Is he
Just
coming
me.
back? What's happening?
Okay, well, for a start, he was literally the first person announced for Doomsday.
Oh, for real?
He was the first chair on the list. So yeah, he's coming
I'm
back.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I only know vague ideas of who's gonna be in Doomsday. I never sat and watched like every single person who was
Well,
gonna
that's
be in it.
probably for the best. But
I
the
didn't give a
the
fuck about
actual
all that.
fucking the actual news that came out, well, it's not even like it's not 100% confirmed, but it's very fucking telling. So he
Yeah.
posted on, I guess, on like his Instagram story, or like maybe it was a post, and then apparently he posted a video as well. Um, like he wrote this huge paragraph basically thanking the fans and like appreciating his time as Thor. And he posted a video which was like a tribute video to the character.
Oh my God, he's gonna die.
Exactly.
It-
Like
That's that's
there's
damning. There's no way that they're actually letting him do that. Like, do
this
they
is
have
what
to
I
be like
mean.
pulling their leg?
Is it just him baiting or
It's also like anybody who's been casted in this movie, we already know that timelines are there's timelines involved, right?
mhm.
It could be any version of the character.
That is true. We might lose the 6164 but gain a different Thor
Or
still played
or
by
this Thor in
Hemsworth.
the movie isn't even 616 Thor. It's like a completely different fucking character.
Well, yeah, that is true.
They
I
just lose a random Thor from a different universe. Like that's I'm hoping that they don't do that because that's like pretty throwaway. If they are gonna kill somebody and it does have to be Thor, I feel like he's had a lot of movies, so it's understandable. At the same time, they'll probably bring Chris Hemsworth back as Thor because he's great at it and people love it. Just different versions of him.
he said as
But
well
if
that
they
he
have to
wants
kill
another
off like
film.
this one, yeah, I don't. I wouldn't put it past them,
He said that
to be
he'd
honest.
like to do a fifth film and like completely change the tone and stuff instead of doing like a jokey comedic Thor. So like
Yeah,
I would be kind of upset actually if they didn't at least give him that fifth film before killing him off. But I do
yeah,
like the idea of killing off like a big character in Doomsday to add some weight to the film because I feel like they just need to do that for Doom.
yeah.
They need to make Doom impactful. Um, but I had like I had a bit of a theory about it because in Secret Wars I won't. It's not that much of a spoiler for you. We'll get onto it in a bit, but there's multiple fours in Secret Wars, multiple, many a four. So I have a
Wow.
feeling that if we're losing Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Secret Wars could see the introduction of our new actor playing Thor for like the foreseeable future, the foreseeable
Yeah.
future.
That's the problem with Thor is that he's like a god.
That is a
So
big
he's not
problem.
supposed to age or like die ever. So he like having one actor play him kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But
I
like
I would be
I
fine
think
with a
they
recast for
have
him.
to do old man Thor before Chris Hemsworth is like done with the role. Cuz that like is the only main trajectory for that character is like you I don't see why you would just let him get old and not do an old man Thor, you know?
I
Let him
mean,
get old.
you could say the same thing about Steve though. Like why have we not got Old
Yeah,
Man Steve?
we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
old
like
man, we got Grandpa Steve.
yeah, but they complete like he becomes director of Shield.
Oh yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
so much to do with like Commander Rogers and director of Shield
Mhm.
and all that kind of shit and like doing Old Man Steve and they just didn't bother to do it. And like you
Is
know
Chris
Chris
Evans not also
Evans,
coming back?
he is, but we don't know who he's playing.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. We don't know who
Yeah,
anybody's playing.
I
Except
don't
for
think he's
like
going to be playing Old Man Steve though.
mm,
He's
probably not old man
probably
Steve.
playing fucking Hydra Cap for
He's
like a
not old
throwaway
yet though. He's
cameo.
not that old.
They could make him old.
I don't know. I feel like he's aging pretty well, so I think he's still got a few years in him before he can be old man Steve.
Yeah, we've
So
established
maybe one day you'll get your wish.
we've established that essentially they shouldn't have like benched him in Endgame. It was
That's
a
no.
mistake benching him in Endgame, is what you're saying.
I don't. I didn't enjoy that part of the movie. I'll admit that. I don't think that that was a good choice, but that's just my opinion.
Well, we don't want any more of those. So let's move on to the next one. This isn't about you, Ryan.
I
This is
know.
about Marvel. Okay,
Nothing ever is about me.
no, for good reason. We're gonna. Do you know who Joe Castor is?
Yes, I
that,
think.
God, that was intense.
I
It
think.
would have been awkward if you didn't.
I hope it's who I think it is.
Right, go on. Who do you think it is? Because I didn't know this
Isn't
person.
isn't she she's a mystic. She's like a magic person, right?
Nope.
And no? Okay, then I don't know.
Okay, so essentially, Joe Castor is like a female Ultron. Um,
Oh, yeah,
in
I was totally wrong.
as far as I know, in the comics, she's like created as a backup file by Hank and Tony before they make Ultron. She's like a side project, and then they like retcon her into the storyline further down the line after Age of Ultron and shit. That's what I think the character is.
Hmm.
She's got a very cool design, but she's been cast. I sent you the actor's name on Discord, and she's
Right.
going to be appearing in Vision Quest because we're getting the return of Ultron. We're getting the whole like exploring Vision's background and like his psychology and shit, and you know all the. I mean, the robot's been through some shit. He got a crushed head, and then got like rebirthed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's they had him take off in WandaVision and they haven't really like brought that up any like since then.
Mhm.
It's that Vision, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I am wondering what he's been up to
Do you reckon we'll be seeing
since then.
Speed in that show?
Oh, probably not, but I would that would be cool.
I will be so mad if we get to Doomsday or Secret Wars and Billy just rocks up with Speed and there's no explanation as to like
Oh my
how they
God.
found him.
That would be so accurate to the comics. That would be so accurate to what they got going on.
I would be so I
They never like to explain what Speed is doing.
to be fair, let's I have got it on the list. I've put Young Avengers down because I was gonna kind of like branch off to it because they've cast an
Yeah.
actor, but he's not been confirmed to be playing Tommy, but he's probably playing Tommy. Um,
Okay.
how do you feel after reading both the original Young Avengers run and the 2013 Young Avengers run? How do you feel about how they're setting them up in the comics and how they've like completely changed, like for example, Wiccan's origin? Like, where do you sit with all that?
I mean, I'm kind of I like them both. I mean, I think the MCU is doing a good job like bringing them in. I do feel like it's a weird thing that Hawkeye's not the same age as any of them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because Kate Bishop's like fucking
like
even in,
23.
yeah, even in can like fucking Steinfeld's like 30, isn't she?
Yeah.
And the character is
So,
canonically like 5 years older than the rest of them.
yeah. So it's like maybe she's gonna be more of like the leader because of that, maybe. But yeah, and I hope that Eli definitely plays a bigger role in it. I feel like they could do Patriot really well, and they didn't utilize him very well in the Young Avengers comic run.
We've
Um,
had many a conversation about how perfect the actor is for it as well.
yeah, I really feel like they could have that character be a part of it, and it'd be a shame not to do that. I don't think that they should do the him using drugs to be a super soldier, in my personal opinion. I don't like
Oh
that
yeah, no, don't do
storyline,
that.
but I'd still fucking watch it, you know? I'd
Yeah.
still watch it.
Do you think like adapting the Young Avengers because there's been rumors that they're going to be putting it into like there's the current Young Avengers in the comics are called the Champions and it's like young version
Right.
of Nova and like a young version of Cyclops and I think Ironheart's thrown in there and a couple of other characters and there's rumors that like that's going to be the branding for the MCU version is like Marvel's Champions. do you reckon if they're gonna do that, it's best to keep them on Disney Plus or put them in a film?
They deserve a film.
Yeah, give them the budget.
Yeah,
Give them all the
and then if
budget.
they want to do like their own TV series after that, like not like for the whole team, but like for the individual characters. I mean, Hawkeye's already got one, but I don't see why you couldn't do that for the in-betweens, but definitely when they're all together, I would want like an Avengers style team up film.
Yeah. You could even rebrand it as being New Avengers or like West Coast Avengers or like something that doesn't have to be branded underneath Avengers if you don't want to. But
Yeah, I
it
mean, I
needs
don't
to
care
be
if
a
it's
film
called
either way.
Champions or not, as long as it's like characters that I like.
Yeah. I think
You
calling it
know, like the ones
Avengers
I want to
Champions
see.
would be good.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Especially because like I love when the original Avengers or like the older Avengers like can't fight a threat, so and they're like basically dead in the water, and they have to bring in all these like quote unquote kids that they don't
Bring in
really
the
believe should be
interns.
doing it. Exactly, like the interns that they don't. But a lot of times in the comics, they didn't really like that they were out doing it because they
No.
were so young. So I think that's also an interesting dynamic where it's like, yeah, you want to help these kids not die, but also you really don't agree with what they're doing. But you also can't stop them because they're not going to stop.
Yeah,
This
and
is
you
the
need
world
their
they live
help.
in. Yeah, and you really need their help. So that'd be interesting.
I think there's a like
Interesting dynamic.
it's weird because Young Avengers, in terms of like comic book sales, has always done really good, but like both the comics and the MCU is like kind of fumbling them and
Hmm.
hasn't really like capitalized on them. Marvel Comics is just kind of weird because like you could go fucking 2 or 3 years and never see a character.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the same output that DC have, where like you can have fucking 6 or 7 Batman runs and like 3 runs that also have like Nightwing in and whatever. Like you're lucky if you get a fucking single issue a year with like Wiccan in.
Yeah.
So I feel
It's
like
rough.
I that's why I was so happy to hear like the quote from Joe Locke, and like not everybody not everybody responded to that quote positively. Plenty of people had a lot to say about his looks.
Oh God.
And just the fact that he's gay. I see all the time like, oh, so and so rumored to be playing Hulkling, or Hulkling confirmed to be a big player in the next phase for Marvel and whatever. And like all the comments are like, who is this Hulk? Please don't make him gay.
Oh God. Oh God. They don't know.
This is the thing, like as soon as you start bringing up obscure characters, or like not obscure but like not mainstay Avengers characters like the
You
Young
know what's the
Avengers, it
problem?
exposes the non-comic book readers.
You know what's the problem is that everybody is an expert on the characters that they've seen portrayed in the movies, and then but they don't realize that when they made those movies, those were obscure characters too. Nobody gave a fuck about them.
Yeah.
That was the only IP that Disney had for Marvel, and they made some movies with it, and it did well because they had really good actors and good storylines, and it took off as this whole universe. And now people care about these characters again, like they did back when they came out for the first time. But
Mhm.
like they don't really know anything about these characters, and then now we're getting more obscure characters from more comic books that have come out, and they don't give a fuck about these characters. And it's like, but you have to let them show you the character because you're
Yeah.
a movie watcher. Like you have to wait until they show you the character. You can't just be like, "Oh, this isn't the Avengers I know," because you didn't even know those Avengers before
Ryan's
2008.
crashing out.
Like,
Ryan's
what the
crashing
fuck?
out.
Sorry,
That's like
sorry.
no, I do agree though. Like that's one of the most aggravating things about being on. I like comic book Twitter in particular
Yeah.
because I get to like just I get so much information that's like actually legit. Like so many
Yeah.
quotes from people and stuff because I'm on that side of Twitter. I get to see like art and things like that. So it's kind of good in terms of getting information. But when you're looking at the replies and stuff of it, like it's so frustrating seeing like oh, this quote from Joe Locke about playing Wiccan, and all the replies are like, who? Nobody asked for this. I don't want this. And it's like, nobody asked for Agatha all along, right? We all knew that
Yeah.
going into it. But in retrospect, it's one of the highest quality Marvel TV shows. And you
Yeah,
don't have to ask for something to then like still watch it and experience it and it be good. Like nobody
exactly.
asked for Thunderbolts and it was a great film.
Yeah, people were saying that it was like the best Marvel movie to come out in the recent years. Like
Exactly. So I feel like
everybody was like, "This is gonna be stupid."
we need to move past this whole I didn't ask for this, nobody wants this. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
You're
they're
not
gonna do
being
what they
asked
want to
what you
do.
want. You just need to shut the fuck up and watch it like a shill.
Like
That's
a
the
shell.
like a shill. That's the only way to experience it is to
You
just role
open your
play as a
mouth and you
shill.
take it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You do it the Wiccan way. Good God. The next. Okay. This. While we're here, Ironheart released a trailer. We're gonna talk about it, because there's a lot of controversy around Ironheart, and I wanted to get your opinion on Ironheart because you ironically brought her up anyway earlier, um,
Yeah.
about wanting to read her comics. And I told you couldn't because you've got to read Civil War 2 before you get there.
I know, it's fucked up.
But
I'm
you'll
probably
get
gonna
there
watch the
slowly.
TV show before I read any comic books,
I actually
unfortunately.
have holiday off for the two. Okay, so we'll discuss the way that they're dropping the episodes, but it's happening as far as I'm aware over the course of 2 weeks. So I will be watching that with you.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
can't wait.
they're dropping 3 episodes one week, and then I think the other 3 episodes the next week because
Oh, that's awesome.
they're expecting it to bomb.
Ugh,
So
I hope it doesn't.
they're just throwing it out there. But yeah, she made a debut in Black Panther 2, didn't she?
I loved her in Black Panther too, bro.
I remember the scene in her dorm with Okoye, and I remember
Yeah.
that doesn't she throw something at Okoye and Okoye like swats it
Yeah.
away. I thought that was funny as fuck. Um
Yeah.
but I
Well,
don't
it's because she came out of her fucking bathroom. She snuck into her
Yeah.
bathroom.
Oh, and isn't there a chase scene with her? Like
I
with
believe
cars and
so.
stuff. I feel like there's a I can't remember. It's been forever since I
Yeah.
watched that film, but I don't know. I liked Black Panther 2, and I am kind of excited for this. I can't say like I am fully excited for Ironheart because I feel like they haven't really hyped it up or made it feel like it's worth watching. It's one of those where kind of like Agatha, you kind of just if you're
Hmm.
interested in that corner of the MCU, then watch it.
Right. But they're not like putting it forward as like
Yeah,
you
if
need to watch this for the MCU, but like you kind of do. Watch it.
yeah,
It's gonna be
you
good.
you kind of do. There's a lot of people saying like, "Oh, we're never gonna see this character again," and I think people are underestimating that. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see her in a lot of things. I love smart kids. Like it's my favorite genre of character because it's just so funny, especially around smart adults that don't know how to handle a smart kid.
Yeah,
So fucking good.
give us Amadeus
But
Cho, please.
I don't think they're gonna do the AI Tony Stark, which is fine. I'm cool with that. I don't really give a fuck.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that is I think something that is different because I know that in the comics she has like AI Tony that is like her kind of mentor, but
I
she
think
still does I think a lot of it on her own.
that would have that would have helped the show so much if they had somehow managed to
Yeah.
get RDJ to sign on for that.
Just a couple holograms, man.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Even if it was
Why's it gotta be so much
even just
fucking
voice, like just have him be the AI voice inside of her suit would have been enough to like bring fans around.
yeah, that'd be crazy.
But yeah, I am excited to watch it just because I want to watch some fucking Marvel shit. To be fair, but I don't know if like I don't know. I'm not expecting it to be like groundbreaking. Like my expectations are pretty like just flatlined for it.
That sucks.
There's no high expectations. It also
Yeah.
it was filmed around the time that they were doing like the big Marvel churn as well with like She-Hulk and um
Hmm.
just all like
She-Hulk.
fucking Echo. You know, they
I
were doing a lot of content. There was a lot of content.
yeah.
How'd you
I actually
feel
just
about
recently
Echo?
watched Echo for the first time.
Yeah, how'd you? Should I talk about Echo? Because I
I
haven't seen Echo.
I really liked Echo.
Really?
I did like it. I really like
Really?
Echo as a
Really?
character now. I feel like okay, some parts of it could have been better.
Okay.
I'll admit that that seems to be how it goes with Marvel stuff, you
Did you
know.
only like it because Daredevil was in it?
No, he was only in it for literally 2 minutes and he got his ass kicked. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was really cool.
Did you binge it?
I did.
Because
Yeah.
that was, I think, the first and only show that they've done where they dropped it as a binge.
Dang.
They knew that one was gonna flop.
Ugh.
Oh my
I don't like
days.
that they do that shit.
Well, we're gonna loop back round to Marvel. We're gonna take an exploration to something completely unrelated to completely unrelated to Marvel comic books, but based on a different comic book franchise. You've been watching The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, I have.
You didn't know I was going to ask you about that.
Oh. I'm on like season 3 right now.
Mhm.
It's been pretty good. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid because my sister started having nightmares with the zombies, and my dad said that none of us were allowed to watch it anymore because she couldn't handle it. And so I just never picked it up again after that. Just I kept seeing everybody talk about it. I was like, "Oh, this is popular. I don't need to fucking watch it." And I understand the error of my ways. It's a good
Yeah.
fucking show.
It's especially like the era that you're in. I would say like
Bro.
I don't know. Everybody says it gets shit around a certain point and it does decline for like a season, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't even know like to what extent you know about like certain things happened with the production around a certain season which then
Um,
changed the story and changed certain characters and the cast
right.
and whatever swapped around a bit and
Dang.
it made people drop the show, but the show stays
Mm-hmm.
fucking good. There are some
Okay.
really iconic moments like past the kind of iffy season, but nobody really, apart from the die-hard fans that were like along for the ride the entire way, like a lot of the general audience dropped off. But it is
Okay.
so good. Like you'll
I
probably know the
wanna,
bad shit when you get to it.
yeah. I had already previously watched Fear the Walking Dead as well, which I
hmm
did enjoy. Um,
Oh, did you
and
watch
I
all of
want to
it?
watch. I don't think I finished it. I think I watched up to like season 4,
Ooh, you might see
but
some
it was
characters.
maybe that'd be cool. I really want to watch some of the spin-offs too. So that's like our goal of me and my roommate are watching it together. We're
hmm
just basically binging it. So
It's the only
that's
way to
been
do
my
it is to
goal is
binge it.
to yeah, I love it. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to watch the spin-offs. I have already been spoiled for some of the storyline because of just general pop culture
Yeah.
knowledge that I've come across online, but I still think that there's been enough surprises where I'm hooked and
Oh,
I don't care.
there'll be so many.
It's yeah, it's dense too, which
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting. Each episode like goes a fucking goes
Oh yeah.
for a long
There's
time. I was sitting there, I was like, when are they gonna find this little girl? And then it comes to the end of them finding this little girl, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was literally crying. And I was like, okay, I understand why it took them so long to find her now, but that was horrible.
How do you feel? How far into season 3 are you?
Uh, they're in the prison. Merle just got brought back with
Oh,
Daryl. I
you're quite
fucking
early on.
hate Merle.
Are you early on?
And yeah, I think they're still fighting the governor.
Oh,
Like he's still a problem.
he'll be a problem.
Oh my God, I this guy is wicked.
Oh yeah. He was in. Oh my god, I referenced this when we. Okay, so back when we were watching Doctor Who, and we were
Uh-huh.
watching the Tennant episodes of Doctor Who. He was in one of the Christmas specials, and I was like, "This is the dude that plays the governor in The Walking Dead," and you were like, "I've not watched The Walking Dead," but he's in. It was like a Christmas episode where he like meets a dude masquerading as the Doctor, and he's got like a companion called Rose,
Oh
and it's
my
all snowy.
god!
Yes, do you remember? He's got the hot
I
air balloon,
do!
the fucking hot air balloon.
What?
That's him. I was
That's
devastated when
crazy.
you didn't know who he was.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, The
I do
Walking Dead
actually remember
is
that.
absolutely just fucking jam packed
They're
full of actors
stacked.
from everywhere.
Well, a lot of them die, right? So it's
Yeah.
like they gotta find new jobs. You
Who
don't have job security anywhere the character's gone.
who's your favorite character?
Glenn.
Who's
I really like Glenn.
okay? Can you guess who mine is?
Uh, no.
Mine's Maggie.
Really?
We like
Aw,
we like
that's so
the two
cute.
characters from the opposite sides of the relationship.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't gotten to know Maggie that well yet,
Yeah, I'm interested to
so I
see
hope
how you feel about her
it's
moving
better.
forward.
Yeah.
To
So far,
me,
she's all right. She just doesn't have much going on, I guess.
yeah, no,
Well,
she's kind
she
of like
did
a
go through
side
that shit.
character.
It was fucked up. But then I don't know.
I also fucking where you're at in the story, I love Herschel.
Herschel.
I
Dude,
fucking love
okay, where
Herschel.
I'm at in the story right now, Rick is losing his fucking shit. Like straight losing it. And Herschel is like trying to hold everything together.
Has anybody
And
died?
he yeah, a lot of people have died.
Who's
Lori
died?
died.
Oh,
Shane's
okay.
dead.
Well, I can ask you the question then. That's fine.
Yeah, there's the baby is there.
Do okay. So I've got two questions for
T-Dog
you.
is dead. Ugh, I was so upset when T-Dog died. But then I was like, well, Merle's back now, so it's probably good that he's dead because I feel like he would have gotten hate crimed.
I
But
think
that's yeah.
you're
I don't
gonna
want to. That's
you're
terrible.
not gonna believe me, but you're gonna like Merle.
I don't believe you. I fucking hate that guy.
Okay, I got two questions for you.
Uh-huh.
One, who's the dad of the kid? Who's the baby
Uh,
dad?
well, I don't really care.
You don't care. You don't think it's gonna
No.
make a difference.
No.
Okay. And what do you think of Laurie? Because when the show came out, both the actress and the character got a shit ton of hate.
Yeah, I can see why she got a lot of hate. I feel like she made a lot of the right decisions, though.
See, that's my
Like
thing
if
about it.
my husband came back from the dead, I would be with him unconditionally, and the shit that she went through with Shane was not cool. And even if he is the father, I think that it like would be Rick's kid because she loved Rick and
Yeah.
she thought he was dead. Like and it makes sense that you would try to like live like feel alive after that. Even like the close proximity thing, like it all makes sense if you're traumatized that you would do that with the person who's closest to you who's helping you take care of your kid,
Yeah.
you know?
You're not
And
thinking
then your
100%
actual
clearly.
husband comes back, like things are different now. Of course they are. Like
You you
like
won't
this
know
is someone
the
you spent your life building a life with. Like that's marriage. Like
you
that's
won't
not
know the full
that's duty.
comparison. But like there's a character in Breaking Bad, Walt's wife, and she also got a
Yeah.
shit ton of hate.
I
And
actually do know about her getting hate, which is
okay,
funny because I have not watched Breaking Bad. But
but on
I
and I fucking hated her for my first viewing as well. But when you go
yeah.
back and watch it and you like take in because on rewatches you start to fucking notice like everything that every motherfucker says.
Yeah.
And at least for me, I started to actually like her character a lot more, and I was like, shit, she's
Yeah.
fucking clever. And like the shit she's saying makes sense, and she's using common sense, and like just I don't know. I feel like Laurie's kind of one of those characters where like even though she's going against what the main character like is doing essentially, so that makes you not want to like her. Like she's giving the main character a bit of grief.
Yeah. But like that's the point of her character is to keep him in check.
Yeah,
That was like he went off the rails after she died for that reason cuz she was like his conscience basically because he's trying to be the leader, which is like crazy that he's just randomly the leader one day. I didn't understand where that mantle was given, but they all just were like, "Rick's the leader now." I was like, "Okay, cool." Like he just shows
it
up and he's the
was
leader.
it was literally like literally because they were cops. So like
Yeah,
that put him and Shane as the two leaders, right?
which is
But then
crazy.
there's that scene right at the very end of season 2 where they're camping out like miles away from the prison, and he's like,
Hmm.
"Look, I fucking killed Shane. If you stick with me, I'll fucking keep you alive." And I feel like they ended
Yeah.
that season. They could have gone into the next season and Rick be the villain at that point. Because
Yeah.
like the speech that he gives is so like back and forth, like you don't know whether or not he's the good guy or the bad guy all of a sudden. But I kind of like that with The Walking Dead. They do that a lot with characters, and they do it a lot with Rick. There'll be multiple moments where you're like, if you were in somebody
Yeah.
else's shoes
He's
witnessing what he was
fucked.
doing, yeah, if you were witnessing Rick from afar, you'd think he was the bad guy.
He does commit some war crimes, bro.
It gets
He does.
worse.
It's rough, man. And yeah,
there's a lot.
and it is more like it's hard to have morals in that kind of environment because like they've made it a point to be like the people are worse than the zombies. Like you'd rather have a bunch of walkers around you than a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But it is hard to like because that's not natural to human like nature, you
Mm.
know? Yeah. So it's like it's hard to even comprehend being in that kind of environment where you can't trust people and also dead things are trying to eat you.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see like how you kind of react to season 4, because season four's got um some weird episodes in terms of just like the approach that they took for it. So
Hmm.
like the first, I don't want to say too much, so because then you'll go into it kind of biased. But season 4 is
Yeah.
an interesting one, and it's received kind of like it's like a 50-50. People either love it or they hate it. I personally skip a lot of it. But then season five's like amazing. So
Okay.
it's fucking swings and roundabouts. You might watch it and fucking love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming the next time that we record this, you probably will have cracked out another season.
Yeah, probably. Um, I literally watched an entire season the first day that I sat down to watch it. Now, to be fair, the first season is
Oh
only
yeah,
like
it's like 8 episodes
six
or something.
episodes, eight
Yeah,
episodes maybe six. I don't
something like
remember,
that.
but it is pretty quick. But I did watch the entire season in one day. Um, and yeah, I think I'll get through it
God,
pretty
you've got
quickly
like,
here.
it makes me so excited, like to know that you're experiencing it for the first time. I wish I could again.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many. Every single season has like their iconic moment or like their iconic storyline that kind of goes through each one, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
like see how you respond to all of it because it's mental, some of it. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I would have like when you start meeting other communities and things like that. Like the lore starts expanding and stuff, and then like you said with the spin-offs and whatever, I'm very
Yeah.
intrigued. Um, but while we're on non-comic book stuff, before we loop around to like actual comic books, uh, let's talk about warfare
Oh yay.
and Civil War. If you want to throw some of that in there, but it's fine if not. But you said that you had some notes on warfare because I did make you watch it. Um,
Hmm.
I did go and see it in the cinema, and I thought that it was a pretty good film.
Yeah.
I am I don't know. I'll respond to like what you want to say about it because I feel like we're taking different stances on it.
Yeah, I think so.
But I feel like it's just because like the way that we consume things is a little bit different, and I don't consume
Yeah.
a lot of like war related shit. So go for it. Hit me with
Yeah.
your opinions on warfare.
So the main thing is that the premise of the movie is these mm, they're Marines, right?
Mm-hmm. I
These
think.
United States Marine operatives go into this place to spy on people, right? They're
Uh-huh.
collecting intel, but they force their way into a civilian's home to set up shop and kick them out so that they can get this intel that's so very important. And then they
Mm-hmm.
end up being under attack. And
Yeah.
it is 60 minutes. Is it 60 minutes? 90 minutes?
It's like 20 minutes of build up and then like 60 minutes of like
Yeah.
tension.
60 minutes of straight
Screaming.
just screaming and explosions and
PTSD just being
yeah,
developed in real time.
lots of real-time PTSD being developed. And as much as I was very uncomfortable watching this film. I held a lot of sympathy for the soldiers just cuz that is a fucked up situation to be in. That was real people. That was based on like a real event that took place with real soldiers. But at the same time, when you learn about the Iraq and the Afghanistan wars, in America nobody was drafted for those wars. That was completely voluntary. Every single soldier who went into that war volunteered, signed up to go to that war specifically. There was a large amount of recruitment that happened after 9/11 because there was a lot of propaganda that went out because of the terrorist attacks that happened. It was a horrible thing. We went on guard, but we went on guard over there. We infiltrated where they live, and when the military goes into those places, they use the term terrorist
Mm-hmm.
because these people, like the groups that are stationed there, commit acts of terrorism, like mass terrorism against a lot of people with
Yeah.
bombs. So that's why they use the term terrorist, but that's also a very radicalizing term. When these soldiers go into these areas, they have to look at every single civilian person that they meet as a potential terrorist because in a way any single one could be part of the radical group that you're fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's entirely possible. They also trap like there's a lot of situations where the people who are fighting these are husbands. So they have wives, they have children, and they bring their children into this and they use them as weapons basically against the military because that's how serious it is. But you have to understand that we're in their homes, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of like their personal morals, we went over there and fought them.
Yeah, at the end of the
So
day,
you have
they're
this
the
film,
invader.
yeah. So you have this film that's 60 minutes of torture for American soldiers.
In
And
a place
in
that
my
they shouldn't
personal
be.
opinion, exactly. In my personal opinion, it's kind of like a garnering of sympathy for people who put themselves in that situation, you know? And I am under the impression that like a lot of kids sign up to go to war for many reasons. Lots of them are coerced into it through like college education. So I understand that aspect of it too is like these were just like kids that went over there with a righteous like you're serving your country and they what they wanted to do was go to college, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a hard situation because you want to have sympathy, but also like the film should have been about the fact that there are civilians the whole time that are being terrorized by this group who came in to their homes. And yeah, they're being attacked by the quote unquote terrorists outside, but these are like
They're doing the invading.
there's like
They
three
shouldn't.
instances. Exactly, there's three instances where civilians are on screen, but only three instances. I feel like if the film really was about like not being propaganda and like showing you the horrors of the war over there, it would have focused a lot more on the civilian population and not on these soldiers screaming and crying and not being able to get anything done and then blowing up these people's houses because they blew up all the houses on the street.
Oh yeah, they
Like
fucking
they
demolished
were,
it.
yeah, they were not. That's the thing with the military. They want to make you think that they have precision, but when it comes to explosions, you can only be so precise.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're laying down cover fire, he said it was an act of force. That's what that was. It was an act of force to make your enemy stop.
Yeah, like an
But it also is
intimidation.
like there's just regular people living there. And
Yeah, yeah,
in Civil War, that's the same thing. Is like there's just regular people around. And we forget that sometimes when we think about war because we just think about the soldiers fighting. But it's like this is people go grocery shopping, people like go to the park, and now they can't leave their homes because they're being bombed out. And there's no hospitals to go to. You know, like
yeah.
when we go to a place and we completely destroy their infrastructure, I don't think they're going to be very happy to see us every time they see us. So that's just my opinion on that specific war and like making a movie like this. It just
Yeah.
it didn't feel very right
I think
the
like
way that they kind of portrayed it.
I think like the reason that I like would say that I enjoyed the film is
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't view it from like the same perspective as you did. I viewed it from more like you know how I get with films and like I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this film's got some sick cinematography, so we're going to watch it." Like
Right.
I enjoy the film from like a production standpoint and like acting and
Mm-hmm.
like I almost when I watched it I kind of like after the grenade goes off like
Yeah.
the fact that it was a war film was irrelevant to me because I was fully paying attention to like the characters and their
Mm-hmm.
interactions and shit. So I think that's why I enjoy it more. I wouldn't show it to somebody as like, oh, let's watch this sick war film. This film's a great representation of war or like, whatever, or because I personally felt sorry for the characters or whatever. Like I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
show somebody the film because I'd be like, oh well, let's watch this film because it's got some sick acting in it. I
Yeah.
feel like that's
And
the
there's definitely space for that because it was, and honestly, as much as you're like you forgot it was a war film, you felt like you were in a war zone once the
yeah
bomb went off. Like you were in it. It was tense. So the movie, the way it was done, like in that aspect of it, and yes, the acting, that was all very good. Like definitely, I was 100% in it the whole time.
yeah. It was difficult not to be with fucking Joseph Quinn screaming for
Oh
like
my
20
god.
minutes.
Dude, I was literally like crawling out of my seat. It was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I mean, it's been like in terms of how films are going this year, it's been a really good year for films. Especially like films
Dude,
watching them in the cinema, like actual
yeah.
like you need to go watch this film in the cinema because I said that to you about Sinners as well. Um, that's another one that we'll definitely
I'm really
rewatch when it drops
glad.
on digital.
I'm really glad that I watched that in the movies and I didn't wait because that was a wonderful movie and the music,
Yeah.
hearing that through like the speakers and like
Mhm.
oh, I got goosebumps in the theater. I was like
Yeah.
it was so good.
It's and I would argue it was the same with like if I had skipped Thunderbolts. I know that I wouldn't put Thunderbolts as being on the same quality level as like Sinners, for example. It's a good
Yeah.
MCU film. I'm not going to say it's like my top 10 favorite films of all time,
Right.
but I feel like I would have probably done myself a bit of a disservice if I hadn't gone to see it in the cinema
Yeah. I really
because
like going to
that
see
was
movies
my
in
god
theater.
the entry scene with Bucky on the fucking bike, like hearing that music in a cinema screening was amazing. I can
I'm
hear your
reliving it in
knees
my head.
rattling. It was
Oh,
great. I cannot stress enough that people need to go to the cinema more and
yeah.
actually view shit for themselves before reading reviews and listening to us
For
yap
real.
about shit. Go just
Like
watch it yourself.
if it looks interesting, you'll probably enjoy it.
Exactly.
Movies aren't supposed to be that serious. As much as we can critique them and be like, okay, it wasn't the best movie on earth, like they could still be fun movies even if they're not good movies. That's not always the point of watching a movie. Sometimes it's just for fun.
Okay, well, what did you think of Lilo and Stitch?
It's a terrible movie.
I knew you were gonna say that. We're not. I don't want to fucking. I don't want to.
No, okay.
We're not gonna talk about it, but I thought it would be funny.
Oh my god, I have opinions on that one.
Yeah, fucking everyone does. Don't worry.
So many opinions. I think other people have spoken enough on the Lilo and Stitch situation. I didn't like the film. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Go go listen to other people because there's definitely a lot of very uh very good critiques that are out there for that movie specifically. So
I've seen I think the general consensus is like don't go out and watch it. Instead, just stay at home and watch the original, which I think
literally,
is a really good, a
I
really
wanted
good
to cleanse my
recommendation.
brain. Like I literally wanted to cleanse my brain when I was done. I wanted to go like I still need to rewatch the original because it just doesn't need to take up space anymore.
And how did you rate Civil War? Because we watched that this morning and we watched it specifically. We would have watched it eventually anyway, but I thought that because we'd just done Warfare and it's by
Right.
A24 and it's the same guy, and let's be real, we have watched like a shit ton of A24 films.
True.
So it was kind of just on brand anyway. How did you feel about Civil War?
I see. This is where I liked this better
Yeah.
because it was a focus on the press, which the press go into these places no guns, only with a camera or a video camera,
Mhm.
like or a microphone. Like these are the tools, the weapons that they use when they go into these places.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability that they're under when they're in militarized spaces is really scary.
Yeah.
And they definitely show you exactly how hard it can be. Cuz like as much as we want to fantasize about a revolution or anything like that, it's war is rough, especially when it's happening at home. And I feel like they did do a pretty good job at like showing how scary that would be
Yeah.
in a way through the eyes of somebody who is kind of powerless in this space with nothing. I mean, not powerless because you have the power of information, but in the sense of like protecting themselves, you're kind of powerless.
They were just like they were literally just spectators to the whole thing.
And that's the whole point of their job
Yeah.
is to be there and
Just
see it. And
watch.
that I mean, at the end, it's that was all they could do. If they weren't there to watch, what was the point of being there?
Yeah. I
You can't miss the shot.
It was one of those films that like I watched it when it first hit digital last year. I think it was last year. It might have been the year before.
Hmm.
I want to say it was last year. Um, and I kind of regretted not going to see it in the cinema. It was definitely one of those that I'm like, I feel like it would have enhanced it a little bit in the cinema, but I also I turned it on and I was kind of like disinterested at first. I was like, it'll be fine because I'd heard
Yeah.
about reviews and shit. But then it was one of those that like once you actually get into it, like after they go to the petrol station early on, um,
Right.
like I put my phone down and I started just watching it.
Now, the reason that it took me so long to watch is because when it came out, I thought it was in such poor taste. And I didn't think that I thought it was going to be like a revolutionary like kind of glorifying like what a revolution would be in America because
Yeah,
we were in a really scary place when that movie came out. Like it was scary. So it didn't feel like the best timing in my
yeah.
personal opinion.
Oh no, you're not the only
I felt
person. A lot of people
I
have
felt
said
bad
that
about it
it's
and a little
really strange coincidence that the political climate in America matched that film.
I don't think it's a strange coincidence. I think it's like it's genuinely like they meant for it to come out at the same time as what was going on. Like that's why probably it was written in the first place because we've had this kind of
I
like
know it's been teetering for a
inkling
while.
for many years. But when it did come out, it was like the height of a lot of what's gonna happen in America. So it definitely it took me a while to actually sit down and watch it. But I think that after seeing it and seeing how it was portrayed, I don't think it was a glorification. I was definitely disturbed
Oh, it was.
through a lot of it.
I think if anything, it was like just the entire thing was purely critical on how Americans treat other Americans
Yeah.
and what the fuck would happen if like you did have to, fight your radicalized right wing neighbor.
Yeah.
as a
when
last
when
resort.
we use labels like to prove when you're who's really like truly American,
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything because you can change the rules whenever you want. You can say today that this person is a true American, and then the next day you could be like, well, but the true American's actually just these people. And now
yeah,
you're fucking dead because you're not a true quote unquote true American. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous way to live. The markings of a good society is diversity and like having differing opinions, regardless of if those opinions are right or justified or whatever. The the having of different opinions so you can have different points of view, different thought processes, it just makes you better. Like as a society, as a group of people, regardless of how big it is, like you can't all be echoing the same thing because otherwise you're not progressing forward. You're
yeah.
just staying in the same circle, fucking talking around. Like, what's the point of that? That's not evolution. That's not moving forward. So I don't understand it.
I don't understand why you haven't finished your drink yet.
I have a lot of water. I'm actually almost done.
You are going to be pissing so much.
Yeah.
That's my transition onto the next topic, which will probably be the one that actually goes out. I might upload it first. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to get uploaded. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen with this entire recording session. So you
I'm
will.
excited to see.
Yeah, well, so am I. So the final thing, comic books, Ryan, comic
Oh,
books.
we're back.
We're back again, comic books. So, okay, let's start at the very fucking beginning. So back in October, people who have like maybe seen some of my other stuff, like I've reviewed some comics and stuff on the channel. So I've spoken about it
Yeah.
before, and I've spoken about it in like just reviews and shit of
Mm-hmm.
like Daredevil and whatever. But so like back in October, a certain little show came out that had a certain little gay boy in it, and it prompted
Right.
me to start reading comic books. And I've mentioned that like Agatha all along was probably like the last like weirdest thing to project somebody onto comic books with, you know? Like it's not,
Yeah.
you know, people wouldn't be surprised if I said, "Oh, well, I watched Iron Man and I went and read a lot of Iron Man comics. Now I'm a diehard Marvel comic book fan," right?
Yeah.
But nope, it
Agatha
wasn't.
all
Yeah,
along
it
is
wasn't
the gateway
enough.
drug.
It was the gays. The gays brought me in.
But that's a long time to go like watching MCU and not like being like into the like comics. I
It
mean,
really
not no
is.
offense. I think that you're allowed to take your time and have your own journey, but it is a long time.
Well, I was a DC person for a long time,
Yeah,
especially
that makes sense. I
like
remember.
through my teen years. Like the friend group that I hung around with were hardcore DC fans. I could not watch
Yeah.
the MCU. It wasn't
Oh
allowed.
man,
I had
that's
to
crazy.
like fucking the Flash and Arrow and the CW shit that was pumping out in the early years of the CW slop. I had to like that stuff, and I had to like the Nolan trilogy, and I couldn't really enjoy superheroes like I did when I was a kid. Like I used to love the X-Men. I used to love the X-Men. I used to love Batman. Used to love Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I had no comprehension that all these characters like took place in their own separate universes. I was just like,
right.
you know, the fucking Batman is in Gotham City and that's somewhere, and Spider-Man's in New York and that's a different place, and the X-Men are at the
Yeah,
X Mansion and that's a different place, you know, and they
it's
just
gotta be funny, like, because you're not from America, but most of the places like in comic books are in America.
yeah,
Does it
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like regular American places are like kind of fantastical in a sense? Because that's how I feel about like I don't know, like in Harry Potter when they're talking about regular England places.
Yeah.
It's like, is this real?
I think like to an extent, I don't know. Like I think places like New York, because we don't have
Yeah,
anywhere like that. We don't have like the sprawling non-stop city state,
yeah.
right?
We
Where
should
it's
go to New
just
York together.
I definitely do want to.
If you ever take a trip to America and it's to New York, I will meet you there.
It's on. I mean, it's on my bucket list. I'm making enough money that I would be able to go at some point.
Okay.
We can put it on the list. God, that would
Heck
be
yeah.
insane. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think like places like New York and like maybe places like Chicago that I've seen it mostly video game stuff. Places like Florida,
Mm,
like in the new
yeah.
GTA. Places like LA, where you've got like Hollywood and shit, and like the fucking beaches and whatever. Places like that don't really feel real. Like I don't
Mm.
comprehend that like they're actual places that people live. Vegas is probably one as well, but I recently
Vegas
watched
is crazy. I don't even believe Vegas is real. I need to go see that shit for myself.
like I recently rewatched Don't Fuck with Cats,
Oh
and
God.
the main woman that they're interviewing lives on the outskirts of Vegas, and it's just so like I can't imagine waking up and leaving the house every morning and seeing that much like light and neon in the distance. It was like a cyberpunk city in the
Yeah.
distance. It was insane.
It's nuts.
But I there's probably places like in like fucking Hong Kong and like Shanghai and places
Right.
like that, like other places in
Yeah.
the world that are just equally as. I mean, there's even places in fucking
Dude,
Scotland.
Seoul does not seem real. That place seems so futuristic.
There's a. I see TikToks. I was sounded like the fucking I see dead people. I see dead people. There's a fucking TikTok account that comes up on my page every so often, and they do like aesthetic videos up in Scotland somewhere, and they're like proper moody, rainy, like going down cobble streets, and I'm
Hmm.
like, my brain, even though I've been to places like that, my brain can't comprehend that like that is a place that exists, and I could literally go there tomorrow
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
like be there. But yeah, I think that a lot of like I don't know how we got onto that topic of
I just,
conversation. That was a tangent.
I completely I completely turned us to the left on that one. That's my bad.
I don't know how we got to that one, but yeah.
You
Anyway,
were talking, yeah.
comic books. Fucking hell. So prior to both of us having Marvel Unlimited, did you read any comics?
Yeah,
So what did
I
you
had bought
read?
a few comics. I will say DC comics are a lot easier to get into.
They are.
Um, it's easier to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think I got into those at like comic books first, but I've always been around comic books, but my dad's only a Thor fan, so only comic books with Thor in them.
Yeah.
Only comic books with Thor in them. Like I'm telling you, he does not buy anything that does not have Thor in it. It's the only character he cares about. So I read a lot. I've seen like some different Avengers comic books and stuff like that, but yeah, it took me until Unlimited to really get into Marvel comic books.
Yeah.
I had a few like single like issues, and I got into like Spider-Man. Oh yeah, because I did have Comixology at one point, so I did get into a few different ones,
See,
but
I
there's not a lot on there.
before Unlimited, my only exposure would have been like right after I left school. I started collecting DC graphics, and
Yeah,
TPs, and I got
cool.
at one point I had like the full run of New 52 Batman,
Yeah.
and I loved New 52 Batman. Like that was my shit. I loved like it had a start and it had a definitive finish. You could get like everything in between, and it was like one big
Hmm.
story, and then it ended, and you've got like the start of a new thing. But at the same time, I really like how in Marvel, like I get what you mean with it's harder to kind of like Marvel stuff because everything is canon. Like you
Yeah.
can't, and it's the same issue that God, I've mentioned it to somebody before, and I argue all the time about it.
Hmm.
But it's kind of the same with like Game of Thrones, and similar to like The Walking Dead with the spin-offs and stuff. It's very similar to like TV shows that have got all of these spin-offs, but it's also like super similar to just the MCU in general, where if you do want to consume it all, you have to read it all. And
Yeah.
like you don't have to read like everything, but you have to read like the main through lines that like go through the main events. You have to
Yeah,
hit
and they
certain points.
and when they were coming out, they were releasing like different comic books like runs at the same time, so you have to like flip flop between
Yeah.
different runs, and that gets to be a lot of reading.
Oh my days, my fucking the door just went and I've never ran so quick in my life. I don't even think it's my fucking Colossus and Juggernaut either.
Oh my
I think it's my
god.
aim figure. I'm fuming. Anyway,
Oh,
God, where
Jesus.
were we?
No one gives a fuck about the aim figure.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
just a
was talking
background
about
character.
how it's hard to like read all of the comic book runs at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time. Like you made me that
Oh,
reading list,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I've
yeah.
only read like the 12 issues, and now I have to go to a completely different comic book to
Yeah,
like
to get like the full context.
yeah. So it's just a lot of stuff like that. Like I don't know how I would have. I guess I would have looked it up, Googled it, but other than that, I don't know how I would have known what issues went with which event. Because
There
it's not. I don't know.
really
Do
isn't.
they have them on there?
So on Marvel Unlimited, they do have certain reading guides. I don't know about
Right.
everything pre time runs out, but I know when you're reading the Infinity event, and it's what gave me the idea to make the reading order in the first place, because I was like, holy shit, without this, I would be lost. But at the end of each issue of the Infinity event, it's got this big, like, timeline. So it's got like
Oh.
at the top of it, it'll say like Infinity issue 1, and then it'll highlight the next issue, which is like Avengers, for example, 15, and then it'll say New Avengers 12. Then it'll say Infinity 2. Then it'll say Avengers 16, New Avengers 13, Infinity 3, and
Yeah.
you'll follow the through line. You don't have to. You can just read Infinity as it is, but obviously if you want all sides of the story, instead of like, you'll jump to like a New Avengers and they'll show you a page where it's like, this is what happened in Avengers,
Yeah.
and you get like a one-page recap. But if you want the full story, you've got to go through that different direction.
Yeah.
And then there is, for Time Runs Out, I found like a reading guide on the app where it shows you, you know, uh, read fucking 2 or 3 issues of New Avengers, then jump to Avengers for another 3 issues, and then back and forth and whatever. So they've got them on there, but I can't imagine like when it was actually releasing, the fucking confusion that it must have been having to keep track of all of it. And
Yeah.
I'm setting myself up because they're releasing the Marvel Imperial event later on this year. I think the first issue comes out next month in like a couple of weeks' time. And there's going to be 4 issues for it. And they've already confirmed that there's going to be a Black Panther tie-in and a She-Hulk tie-in. So I'm already setting myself up like I've got to get those 2 tie-ins to get the full story. But I want it to be the first like Marvel run that I collect as single issues instead of like a full TP.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for it, but I can't imagine like something as complex as like Hickman's Avengers run. Like doing that in real time is just holy shit, especially because there's like fucking 30 issues of Avengers as well that go into it, and like 20 new
Uh,
Avengers, and my days.
can you imagine buying all those issues just one by
No,
one every time they come out?
no, not at all.
Some people do that.
It was just, it's insane. And plus, like, the really famous Hawkeye run was happening at the same time. You've got not new Avengers, Young Avengers at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
just so much shit coming out at once. It's insane. And then on the DC side, you've got like Batman, then you've got Batman and Robin, then you've got Batman Detective, then you've got
Hmm.
Batman the Dark Knight. So you've got like fucking 5 Batman runs like happening all at once on top of the Bat family. It's
Yeah.
just insane. I like TPs are the way
I
to
do think
go.
it's weird. Yeah, I think it's different because I have noticed because I'm reading Absolute Superman right now, but they're
Mhm.
still doing a regular Superman run at the same time.
Yeah.
So just completely different universe, just doing its own thing.
Yeah.
cool.
And you don't really see much alternate universe stuff aside from the Ultimates outside of Marvel.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Well,
A
their
lot of shit
alternate
is
stuff is
canon.
like what if, but like
Yeah,
that's not like actually
it's very
real. It's just
it's very gimmicky.
yeah.
So
I have a Marvel What If comic, and it's what if J. Jonah Jameson killed Spider-Man? Or no, it's what if he adopted Spider-Man?
oh my
He
god.
adopts Peter Parker in it.
I think if I was
Yeah, it
Spider
was
Man, I'd
crazy.
rather he kill me. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Good
me too.
god. So are you doing anything else alongside? Are you gonna do like Young Avengers took place between that like gap of 2012 to 2015, like the build up to Secret Wars? Are you gonna do anything outside of Avengers and New Avengers that's like around the same time period, or are you just gonna like grind your way through that?
Well, I think I'm gonna grind my way through it and then maybe turn back. I did want to read. Well, I think is the Loki one during that time too.
Yeah, yeah. Agent of
Agent of
Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
right
interested in
before
doing
Secret
that
Wars.
one. Um, I don't know. Do any other Young Avengers have like solo runs? Because I would probably be interested in that.
You could do so. Kate Bishop is in the Hawkeye one,
Right.
and
Yeah, you said that.
yeah,
I could do that.
the Hawkeye one is like highly regarded. I think it won awards.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've read like the first 5 or 6 issues, and it's not bad. I don't know if it's for me. We'll see. We'll see if I return to it. But the art in it is very good, and it's a lot better than the show. But you can tell that they based the show off of the book,
Mm.
and because like some parts of it are like panel for panel almost, but then like the rest of it is just nowhere near as good. It's pretty
Yeah.
insane actually. I'm just googling now to see whereabouts. Yeah, so Loki Agent of Asgard was 2014 to 2015, so it was like oh, and it's by Al Ewing. I love Al Ewing. He's got one of the best names. So Al
That's
Ewing is doing the fucking. He was like Marvel's main guy right after Secret Wars. After Hickman finished Secret Wars, Al Ewing did fucking New Avengers and Civil War 2, and I want to say he did Empire, which is like he's very high on fucking Hulkling and Wickham, which is why I like him. He's giving them some screen time, which I'm a big fan of.
well, that's
But
good.
I might read Agent
Someone
of Asgard now. God, I might do that before you get to it.
fuck.
I might see if I
I'm
can
always
squeeze that in
trailing
there.
behind.
You are, but I'm behind on X-Men stuff, so it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Massively behind on X-Men stuff. Are you gonna do? Were you doing the Krakoa stuff?
I wasn't gonna read all of it. I read like a couple different like uh
You were doing like
stories
a
that are
House of X, weren't
in
you,
there.
or Power of X, or whatever?
It was House of X, The Way of X I did because specifically Nightcrawler was one of the main characters, and then there was another one
You're hitting
that I
like
can't remember the name of
you're
right
hitting the
now.
main beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
important part.
I have been enjoying it. I just don't think I can get through all of that lore personally.
Oh, there's like fucking
Maybe one day.
500 issues. Don't even try.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but
Don't even try
I
it.
personally Oh my god, sorry, my cat's like trying to get all up on my desk. Um
Can we get a? Yeah, I might regret asking this. Can we get a cat cam?
a cat cam?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. You can put the cat on the camera, and I'll overlay it onto the video. There's the cat cam. Oh, he knows as well. He knows.
He can hear you. Oh fuck.
Which one
He
is
just
it?
knocked my This is Apollo.
Apollo. Yeah, look at me, bitch. Oi. Oh my days.
Second cat cam. This is Artemis.
He was in the deepest of sleeps.
I know I got up and scared him. He's all red-eyed. Aw.
He's like, bitch, go away. He's got a little chin strap.
Yeah.
He's got a chin strap and a middle part.
Yeah. Middle part is rough.
He's got that Spider-Man Marvel Rivals hairline. Was around that time. Are you gonna do? You said you wanted to loop back round after you've done Secret Wars, so you're not gonna do. Are you not gonna keep plowing forward with like New Avengers and Civil War 2 and the build
Yeah, I
towards?
am.
Okay. I gotta get like mentally prepared to make you another reading order.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of them.
Good go. Well, thankfully, a lot of it is like I don't know. It's all pretty separate until you hit Civil War, and then suddenly everyone's got Civil War comics. They did a lot of Civil
Oh,
War shit.
yay.
Yeah, I'm interested to see your reaction to Civil War 2. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
Civil War
a
1 was nuts.
yeah, it definitely was. What? Whose
That's something we
side were you
could
on?
uh I was definitely not on Iron Man's side. That guy's a fascist. That was crazy. He was doing crazy things.
Yeah.
That was nuts. I yeah, no, I was not on Iron Man's side in the slightest.
Uh,
I couldn't understand why Spider-Man was on Iron Man's side. I couldn't understand why anybody stayed on Iron Man's side
Spider-Man got
besides like Reed
bribed.
Richards. Oh
Spider-Man
yeah,
got
really?
fucking yeah, because he got given the Iron Spider suit. That was the only reason he was there.
Oh my
Was
god.
because he felt obligated. He was like, "Oh well, Iron Man gave me this sick suit, so now I have to be on his side." And plus, he,
It doesn't make any sense for him to be okay with that.
but he also got himself a little bit trapped because he took his mask off. So at that point, he like there was no return.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I don't know. There's Civil War was
If
crazy.
Civil if like the movie Civil War had done that shit, because that's what I couldn't understand also about him joining Tony Stark. I guess he was like a kid; he didn't really understand what was going on. But still, I'm like, you're gonna have to reveal your identity. That's the whole point of this Accords, is that you're not allowed to have a secret identity anymore.
Yeah,
Why are you on this side? That's like his main thing, his whole thing. That's like a main part of his character.
but
Is his
they
secret identity.
like in terms of the
Stop
film.
giving it out.
In terms of the film, though, they do move away from that, don't they? When they go to the Hydra base, and then suddenly it becomes like Captain America and Bucky versus Iron Man, and it's
Yeah.
no longer about the politics. It's about you killed my dad,
Yeah.
which I do like that
Yeah.
about the film. I think that's a really good way of like moving
Like
from
he was
one
siding
thing
with
to
them
another.
actually, and then he was like, "Nope."
But I fucking love Civil War. I absolutely like the film and the book are both great. They're really,
Yeah.
really cool. And if you haven't read any of the tie-ins, did you do the Runaways and Young Avengers one?
No.
That's a very, very cool one.
Y- maybe Young Avengers one,
They're like
but not the.
they're the same. They're like part of this. They're like a
Oh.
crossover.
Okay.
You should
Maybe not.
definitely do, especially. Oh my god, with the knowledge that you've got of Marvel Boy in the 2013 one, he makes his like debut to the team like in relation to the team in that comic book, and it's insane. It's crazy. He makes like such a cool entrance. But yeah, you should definitely go back and read that at some stage. There's no rush for it.
Yeah,
Outside of the
I probably
Marvel Boy
will.
stuff, it's not like super great. It's like, yeah, it's a tie-in. It gives you extra context.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I will want to go read it because that would be interesting.
Are you? This is probably going to be the last thing that we talk about in terms of just this recording session. But are you looking forward to Fantastic Four?
I think that it'll be all right.
You think it'll just
I
be
don't know if
okay?
they're gonna survive. Well, I mean, I guess they're definitely surviving there. Well, we don't know that. We only saw a ship. Everybody says
Right,
they're definitely
yeah.
well, they're gonna be in Doomsday, so there's that.
Yeah, is the ship
But
theirs
then
though?
again,
That's
it's
the
just the
thing.
actors. That's what we've known is it's just the actors. So it could be one Fantastic Four dies, and then they come to a different version of. Honestly, I would put money on Sue Storm, and then the actress comes back as like a Sue Storm, that's like on Doctor Doom's side for a bit
Oh,
until they have to like be like, no, be on our side. I'd put money on that. That'd be cool.
have
I
you?
just I don't like thinking that I know what's gonna happen when they've not like actually shown me.
I like theories on shit just purely based off of the comics, but we know that
Mm.
like the MCU do not follow the comics, or like they'll take
Yeah.
things and like completely tear them apart and Frankenstein them back together.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gonna call it the same thing, but it's not gonna be
yeah,
the same thing.
but in your new Avengers run, have you met Galactus in that yet?
No.
Okay, so you will pretty soon, and I
I figured he
think
was coming. I figured that was who they were talking about.
yeah, when you
Cause
see
he's
him, like, and you see like what he's doing, I think that's gonna add so much more context to the film that we're getting, because I think it's the
yeah.
same thing basically. It would definitely. I think it's a huge mistake that we've not had any proper incursions in films at all. We've not had a single incursion event, which I can now fucking talk about with you now that you know what they are.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
Because the minute they said incursion, I was like, oh, this is what he was talking about.
yeah, like, and they are the most crucial part to Secret Wars, like outside of Doom and what becomes like Battle World and whatever, right? But you'll get to that. That's like it's all the same big story, and the Secret Wars issues themselves are like the third act. But like the
Yeah.
way that the MCU are treating it, and I think this is why a lot of people don't have faith, like especially people that have read the comics, is like it feels like they're just dumping this just out of nowhere, and it needed some build up for like a
Yeah.
couple of films, or like have it highlighted in like a fucking a mainstream show or something. And they had in the Marvels, god, because that film didn't that film was gonna do great at the box office based off of fucking recent reception, but in the Marvels they
Ugh.
had the closest thing to an incursion. Have you seen it?
I have, but I don't recall
So
what you're talking about.
at the end, during the big fight, when they're having the big fight with whoever the fucking villain is, because I can't remember her name,
Yeah.
they open up. There's like a tear in the universe, and they're on like the
Mm.
space station, and you've got Earth on one side, and they're talking about like ripping apart the universes, and through the tear in the universe, God, it gets me so pissed off because like it's so close to the comics, but they didn't go all the way. The tear in the universe is open, and you see the other Earth. So
Oh,
you've got the incursion. It's there.
dang.
But what happens instead is Photon or like I don't know which version of like which character Monica Rambeau is turning into. I don't know if she's Photon, Binary, or fucking Captain Marvel, right? But she
Right.
gets launched into that side, and Captain Marvel can't quite get her in time, but now she's in that universe, because that's what happens during an incursion event. You can pass from one into the other, like Hyperion does
Oh.
in the comics. The incursion happens, his Earth
Right.
gets destroyed,
Right.
and he's in ours, right?
Yep.
So they've had it, but they've just not done anything since, and nobody watched the Marvels. So
Yeah.
nobody knows about it, but it was right there, and it was like a good enough version of it to call
Wow.
it like, an incursion adaptation. You could have had a couple of more like of those happening in there. And you know
I
what? I
I
would have put Doom in Agatha all along. I would have
Where
done
would he
it.
have been at?
I would have done it like he's at the end of the Witch's Road. The castle that they are going to is Doom's castle. He's been there for whatever fucking reason. And the Witch's Road, obviously, this is before I knew that the Witch's Road was created by Billy, right? I thought the Witch's Road would have been like a path in between the multiverses. So it kind of just
Hmm.
existed in its own place.
So
And
instead of Kang's castle, it'd be Doom's
yes,
castle.
exactly, because that's the course correction that they needed to make.
Yeah.
And let's be real, it would have elevated Agatha all along if you got to the end of it and there's
Well,
fucking Doom.
unfortunately, I don't think Agatha all along could afford RDJ for their
Yeah,
services.
unfortunately
So
not. Unfortunately
since
not.
we're doing that and we're keeping him in business, now we're a little bit limited on where Doctor Doom can show up.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna get a new Doom after Secret Wars, or do you think this is it?
I
They're
fucking hope
gonna.
so.
Do you reckon they'll like recast Doom and we'll get more Doom, or do you think this is like a one and done?
If they
Like
do more
this is the Doom
Fantastic
we're
Four, I
getting.
think they have to do more Doom.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know that. Do you think the new Fantastic Four is gonna stay in our universe, like the main MCU universe, like the new Fantastic Four?
Oh, it's a tough one because they're so old.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a possibility that they get recast, and then we get a whole new Doctor Doom with a whole new Fantastic Four. Um, or it's possible that RDJ just doesn't want to skip a check, so we just have him forever. And he wears a mask, so it's not like they actually need him there.
Yeah, that is true.
They could just do voice lines and have a stunt double stand in for him if he gets that old. So he could actually do this forever.
I do genuinely think that like RDJ's Doom is gonna be great. I really do. I think that like when he wants to, Robert Downey Jr. can be like a fucking phenomenal actor. Yes, I do think he's doing it for the paycheck.
I think I don't have any opinions on him being good or bad. I don't think he's gonna be bad. I just think that it's a choice to recast him.
I think in terms
And
of like the
no, man.
MCU, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm interested to see like what story they're going for because they've clearly done it for a reason. Like the Russos,
Yeah.
it's been said publicly like the Russos would only come back if they could have RDJ and Doom because of the story that they want to tell, and they've said that Doom is specifically linked to the Iron Man character in some way, so they've got a plan. But is it
I'm
worth
I
the time and the effort?
I need to look up which movies the Russo brothers have done.
What in terms of the MCU?
Yeah.
They did Winter Soldier, they did Civil War, they did Infinity War, and they did Endgame.
Hmm.
So they did the good ones.
I only enjoyed the Winter Soldier out of that whole
Really?
thing, actually. As much as like Endgame and Infinity War or Infinity War and Endgame were like the pinnacle of like what the MCU is building towards, I didn't like Endgame that much.
I
I
mean,
thought I thought Infinity War was really good, and then Endgame was so weird and
I
kind of
do,
disappointing.
I
And
do
the
get where
effects
you're
of
coming
Endgame
from.
have been not fun to deal with.
Yeah, I do. I do see where you're coming from. I don't think like I wouldn't say you're saying a hot take. I think that like
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to like how I feel about Deadpool and Wolverine. Like I think it's a
yeah,
good film, but I don't really like it.
that's valid.
Um, it's one of those like I think the more time we dwell on certain films, the more we realize. But I can still go back and rewatch like Infinity War and Endgame and still fucking love them.
Yeah,
But again, like I think the MCU have been missing like cohesiveness. After Endgame, it's just been we've got all these characters, so let's give Moon Knight a show, and let's give She-Hulk a show, and let's give Echo a
yeah.
show, and Hawkeye
No
gets
one's
one,
really.
and there's no and like the through lines that we started to make with the Shang-Chi end credit scenes and there being that little like signal in the quantum realm and then Kang's in the quantum realm and there's a lot of Kangs and now no there isn't because Jonathan
There's
Majors
not
has
a
been a
single
nasty
king.
man.
There's not a
Like
king in the wind.
not a Kang can be found until we get to possibly Doomsday because there's rumors he's back.
Oh wow.
Which like I get that they're in a tough spot because like they had COVID and now like all the shit with Jonathan Majors, right? But they could have done a
Hmm.
little bit more to connect up other storylines just so that it felt like they had like a bit of a backup plan,
Yeah.
a backup Kang. a second Kang.
Yeah, they just got all these people off like doing random shit.
Yeah. Everyone's off doing their own quests when they should be doing the main quests.
Yeah.
And it's not great. And I feel like that's what the Russos are bringing in, though. It feels like, because that's what they did before. Like, Civil War kind of, like, breached into Infinity War, and Infinity War breached into Endgame, obviously. Like, they are kind of good at doing that. So, I am excited for it. Whether or not I think it's the right decision, you know, is a whole different matter. But I do think that it will be good, basically. I'm just very nervous about, like, we mentioned it very briefly when we weren't recording earlier, but, like, Chris Evans is back. I really don't want Chris Evans to come back as, like, Hydra Cap, and he only get, like, a cameo and that's it. It's like, oh, that's a cool thing from the comics, and now he's dead and we'll never see him again. Like, if we're getting Hydra Cap, give him to us in a Sam Wilson Captain America film, because that's a cool idea. Sam versus Steve. Like,
that would be crazy.
Why waste all, like, if we're getting Maestro Hulk, why not give us a Future Imperfection or whatever it's called, like, film? I get, like, the Hulk rights are a bit iffy, but it's just an example. Like, I don't want Secret Wars and Doomsday to just be endless cameos and excuses for, like, nostalgia bait. You know,
yeah, I'm worried.
Bringing back
I'm
Tobey
worried
Maguire and
specifically.
shit.
I'm worried when it comes to Doomsday with the X-Men that are coming in. I don't want them to use these old X-Men actors and then not touch on the X-Men in the MCU because they're like, oh, they're in a different universe.
Yeah.
That'll piss me right off.
I don't think
So
that they
I
will
hope
do that. I've got faith.
what I'm hoping that since they're gonna meet these X-Men from a different universe, because I don't think that these are gonna be the main MCU X-Men.
No.
They're not bringing them back. They're from a different universe. I think this is gonna be where they realize that mutants like exist, are a thing that like, because mutants are very secretive throughout a lot of Marvel because they have to be because they have to protect themselves. So I think this will be like the Avengers finally realizing that the mutants exist in their world too, maybe, and that might be a cool like thing to go into. But I do hope that they actually bring the X-Men into the MCU in their own way, like with new new actors, new storylines, because I want to see that. I don't want just like the old X-Men to all come back, or even the Days of Future Past X-Men. Like I'm not. I want a new thing where we can actually incorporate them into this world.
Yeah, a complete
You know,
fresh
like
start.
you said, I don't just want nostalgia bait over and over again.
Yeah. The only
As fun as it is.
The only character I'd be fine with them keeping is Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
I would be fine with them keeping him. But other than that, like, no, I completely agree. I think like they need a complete fresh start. I think that's why they're bringing them back though. Is I think not based on anything comic book related, because the X-Men don't really have fuck all to do with Time Runs Out or like Secret Wars. Really, they're not there. Like some of them appear, but you'll see as you read it, they're not really important. So I think they're there to die.
Yeah.
I think that they are going to be the last two Earths, the last two Earths left standing is the 616 and whatever this universe is that Maria Rambeau went into. Is it Maria or Monica?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I can't remember which one it is. The Captain Marvel from the comics. I don't know. But whichever one...
Monica.
Monica. When Monica goes into that universe, like, whatever that universe is, it's going to be versus the 616, but then it's going to be, like, the X-Men accepting...
Maria's her mom.
That's it. Yeah, she's binary. So, I think that, like, the crux of that film, like, the ending scene is going to be, like, the X-Men self-sacrificing not only the Earth, but them. Like, themselves.
Right.
And it's going to be, like... a big hoorah, but because it's the same actors, it's also a nice send-off for, like, the audience as well. And it's like, okay, well, we brought them back. You got your big moment. They're in their comic book accurate outfits. We got them fighting Sentinels. We got them fucking up with Doom and fighting the Fantastic Four and whatever. You know, X-Men versus Avengers and all that shit. Like, cover it all. Get all your, like, nostalgia baiting shit out in, like, one film. And then have them self-sacrifice. Have everyone leaving the theater in tears because poor Ian McKellen has been killed off. God, it was bad enough watching Patrick Stewart in Logan. I'm gonna be in bits with Ian McKellen.
God.
Holy shit! But
They
yeah,
deserve a good. Those two specifically deserve a really good send off because they have
they
brought a
do.
life to these characters for a very long time. So I really think that those two specifically, they need to do right by.
We need like all of those X-Men, all of those characters gathering together. We've got to have Cyclops saying the line, and they all self-sacrifice to save the MCU. That's my pitch for Doomsday. And then, boom, you can do whatever the fuck you want with Secret Wars and Doom and that whole film because that's its own thing. And you don't have to... You can have people forget about the X-Men. They had their cool X-Men moment, and then we're going to get fresh X-Men in the new era of Marvel.
So I have a question. I know we got the Illuminati in the
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness, that's the one. We got the Illuminati in there. Do you think we'll see another Illuminati?
Yes.
At all for this?
100%.
You do? Do you think it's gonna be our universe's Illuminati?
Yes. 100%.
That would be crazy. It'd be crazy to see them all show up and it's like we didn't even know it was happening.
You want to know
why? But they've already gotten together.
So
why?
During the chair reveal, they confirmed that the actor for Namor is returning.
Ooh.
And the moment I saw his name, like, alarm bells went off because I can't, like, say why or anything, but Namor, like, you mentioned, like, you don't understand why Namor's on the Illuminati.
No, I just, it's crazy that he's in Wakanda.
Yeah, but, like, that conflict with Black Panther. I get why he's in the Illuminati. Like, that conflict with Black Panther, though, is really, really important throughout all of Time Runs Out.
So, are you sure he's going to be part of the Illuminati since T'Challa's gone?
I'm certain. Like, oh god, I don't really like Shuri, but I think that Shuri's just going to take T'Challa's place.
Yeah.
You sound so upset about the idea of it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm cool with it. I just really like T'Challa Black Panther. He's like one of my favorite characters.
We will. Marvel. I think without a doubt we're gonna get an Illuminati. I think Doctor Strange and Wong are both gonna be on it. I think Namor. I think you've got to have what?
Doctor Strange and Wong was crazy. I just didn't expect that to be your first.
No, because is Wong not Sorcerer Supreme?
He did become Sorcerer Supreme. He did.
Right.
But I don't know if he's going to stay Sorcerer Supreme because he was only on a technicality because Doctor Strange died for 5 years.
Let's be real. They're probably going to kill him off.
Well.
We might lose Wong. Okay, but...
I like Wong, though.
I think we need Wong. I think we have to have Wong. Yeah. You throw in Reed Richards from the alternate universe, right? They immediately are going to fucking they're going to lap up Pedro Pascal Reed Richards from that other universe because he's brainy as shit, right? So you've got Namor, you've got Reed, you've got Shuri, you've got fucking Wong, and you've got old Cumberbum.
Old Cumberbum.
I reckon. God, see, I would put Captain Carter on there as well, but there's no way to, like, bring her into the universe at the moment for it to make sense, so you can't, but you need, like, a super soldier on there. And it can't...
She got cut in half.
No, but it'd be a different version.
What if it's Bucky?
Possibly.
What if it's Bucky?
Possibly. That would be pretty good.
Avengers.
Yeah. I could go with Bucky, and then it would make sense because, like...
Well, I don't know if he's leading or if Yelena is leading. I think Yelena is leading, but I think if the Illuminati, it would probably be Bucky.
It's like shared
custody?
Yeah, it's shared custody. But, like, I could see if they're going to build towards, like, a Civil War 2 between Bucky and Sam, like, I could see Sam being pissed off that like Bucky was working with this secret group, like trying to control everything. But Bucky had like
Yeah.
his own reasons for doing it because it was the end of the fucking universe.
Right. I
So
mean, he seems to that seems to be his main problem is that he keeps getting involved in terrible things and then has to just fix them.
yeah, I would also like. I don't know. I don't know who else I would throw in there, but I feel like you've got to have at least somebody else because I think in. Do they get Captain Britain? No, I don't think they do
No.
get Captain Britain. I
I
could.
think Wong is extra. Like I think you got everybody. Wong would be extra.
Okay.
Oh, Iron Man's not there.
Oh, of course. And Professor X was part of the Illuminati, but he died at some
Yeah.
point.
So we could definitely have Professor X.
But can we have like a 616 Professor X?
No.
No.
It would be
So,
the other Reed Richards and the other Professor X.
yeah, I think maybe we could see the Illuminati formed in the film then.
That's yeah, maybe.
I could maybe see that,
Unless they
but
unless one of them had like interdimensional communication and they kind of saw it coming. I don't know. That'd be crazy though.
you
That'd
know,
be
if
kind of hard to
fucking
believe. You know what it should be? It's not both Earths are probably creating their own Illuminati. And then they come
oh
together
yeah,
and they're like, "Okay, you're the Illuminati of this world, we're the Illuminati of our world. We have to figure out a way to like
that would
solve
be
this
pretty
problem
sick.
between our two worlds." That's an option.
Oh, has Reed built the bridge yet for you?
No.
Oh, when he gets to the bridge, we have so much to talk about.
Okay. I'll remember the bridge.
Because I have a theory about the Fantastic Four film regarding the bridge. Um,
Mm.
do you think that Doom is in the ship?
No.
Do you think the
Maybe?
Fantastic Four
I
are in
didn't
the ship?
I think the Fantastic Four are in the ship for sure.
Like so many people are hyper analyzing that ship scene with like the new footage that we're getting from TV spots and stuff, and saying that like, oh, it's not the same ship. The fucking the wings on it or whatever are different, and blah blah blah. And
It's
I'm
that's
questioning everything.
after. Listen, okay. What I think it would make sense that the ship changes from when they first go to space from when
True.
like
The fucking so I think the film Fantastic Four
mhm,
takes place over different periods of time, right? So they go up into
right,
space. This is like relates to why you said the rocket being different. It's not going to stay the
right.
same. So it's going to show. I know we don't want another origin story, right? So I think they're going to like compact it down through flashbacks and shit. So they go to space, blah, blah, blah. They get their powers, they come back, right? They get their powers, they become celebrities, they go on the talk show and whatever. Then I think Galactus arrives and
Mhm.
delivers them the message, or the Herald of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, arrives, delivers them the message that their Earth is going to get destroyed. We're giving you time to basically make peace with that, say goodbye, whatever. We'll be back. Right? Then we're going to see, some fucking fights with the Fantastic Four and some of their villains. Like, I think his name's fucking Red Ghost or some shit. He lives on the moon and he's got smart chimps.
Oh.
He's being played by John Malkovich, I think.
Huh.
I'm pretty certain he's going to be in it, and maybe Mole Man. So I think we're going to get like a bit of a montage of like the Fantastic Four fighting some classic Fantastic Four villains. And then fucking Sue's pregnant, but they know the world's going to come to
Yeah.
an end.
Yep.
And at some stage, fucking Galactus comes back and is going to nom 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 the Earth, and they have to go into space. The kid is going to be the key to all of this because Franklin Richards is fucking insanely powerful.
I don't understand how that happens. Why is that a thing?
I honestly have no idea. I don't know.
He's like a reality bender like Wanda.
Yeah, he's insanely powerful, insanely
That's
strong.
yeah. What the
Um,
fuck? Probably
and
got it from Sue.
super crucial to like the story of Secret Wars, so they've got to cram him in here somewhere.
Mm. Don't they
Uh,
have another kid too who's just like regular?
they've got Valeria, or Valeria, I don't know how you pronounce her name. she takes after Doom a lot more. And I think in certain stories, Doom is kind of seen more as her dad, even
Uh-huh.
though she's Reed's kid. She's kind
That's
of
wild.
she spends a lot of time with Doom, and a lot of the time that like Doom is friendly with the Fantastic Four, he's looking after the kids. He's kind of
Why?
I I'll be honest, I don't really know. I've never
They got Doom as
really
a babysitter?
pretty much.
The fuck?
I
And then
can't.
he's a villain and they just fight him and then he just like it's like, oh, I'm good now, and then they just let him come be the babysitter
There's a
again. That's
point in Time Runs Out that you'll get to, and it means a lot to me when I was like reading it, and it's why I got a fucking Secret Wars tattoo because of it.
oh wow.
But
Yeah.
like, it's really really crucial for like Reed's character. But like during that point, the kids are staying with Doom, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that like that was a thing.
That's insane.
So yeah,
I
um,
get maybe he's like maybe it's when it's like dire situations and they're like I guess they'll be safe with Doom
I think that is
because Doom is pretty
actually, I
powerful.
think that is a legit thing where like they're a, they know that he wouldn't hurt the kids or do anything bad to the kids, and
Yeah.
they're like, right, fucking get him to look after the kids while we go save the world, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think that obviously like Franklin's going to be the key to all this, but we're going to have like multiple time jumps, and not only the ship, but like I mentioned the figures. The figures have got different outfits. Like the fucking Human Torch figure has longer hair than what we've seen in the trailer. The Pedro one's got like a different hairstyle to what we've seen. I think that like the figures are based off of a different point in the timeline that we're going to be presented with, so that's why I could see maybe the
Right.
ship changing and their appearances changing and things like that. I think it makes more
Yeah.
sense. So
That's what I assumed. Okay. I don't agree in the I don't want more origins. I want to know how these fuckers exist here.
I think it's crucial to have origin
I re-
stories.
I need to know. Like I hate Spider-Man not having an origins in the MCU. We don't know anything about how he started to become Spider-Man. It's fucking stupid.
People
That's
really
the most important part of him being a hero is why he became Spider-Man in the first place.
people
And I
really
get it, we
underestimate the
know.
importance of them.
We don't even know if Uncle Ben exists. As much as we know that like Uncle Ben dies, he becomes Spider-Man. We don't even know if it's real. He
Yeah.
could not even exist in the MCU, and we have no idea. Because they had fucking Aunt May do the "great power has comes great responsibility" line, so it's like he's probably not even around.
Actually, she's the one that said it in the comics, Ryan. She's the one.
Oh my god.
Uncle Ben saying it was a thing from the earlier films. You have been nostalgia baited, Ryan.
Fuck!
Well, that's it. That's the end of the
Well,
podcast. Ryan's a fake fan. We're going to be ending on that. That's
I'm
it.
not making it to the next podcast because I'm gonna go kill myself.
Yeah, you don't need to. The MCU, the Marvel comic fans are already outside your door now with pitchforks and
Yeah.
shotguns.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll just go sacrifice myself
they've got
to the
cloves of
masses.
garlic just in case.
I hope I get beheaded.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I would
That'd be nice.
probably
That'd be a
mount it
cool
on
way
my
to go.
wall. There's
Hell
a
yeah.
you could go. I'd push my X-Men figures along slightly, and you can be on my X-Men shelf.
That would be right where I belong.
Yeah, and then I'll have your cats after.
Oh. That'll be a while.
Oh, I'll adopt them.
Oh, sure, yeah, you can do that.
There we go. They'll chew on your head.
They would love it. That would be their favorite activity. They already like to chew on my head.
But yeah,
My cats like
so
to eat me while I'm alive.
we've got some. I've got more faith in Fantastic Four than you have. I feel.
Yeah.
And we collectively agree that we should probably see as much of their origins as possible to
Please.
understand these characters. Because that's the thing that, like, everyone says, oh, we don't need to see Batman's origins. You do to emotionally connect with him in the moment. I get it, you know it. I fully understand that you know it. No one's doubting that you don't know it. But you have to see it in the moment while you're viewing the film to emotionally connect. It's the same with everyone.
And then
And
like the whole point of it is that like you see this terrible thing that happens in like a lot of the different iterations of this character, right? It's the same event, but it causes them to do different things throughout the different universes. So you have to see the catalyst and then why they do that other stuff, like why they make those decisions that they do. It's all because of the things that happen to them. So you have to see what happens to them.
yeah, plus there's fucking
Crazy.
different versions. You know,
Exactly.
you watch the Maguire Spider-Man and he gets bit in a museum. You watch the Garfield one and he gets bit in Oscorp. You watch the
Yeah.
Holland one and you don't get to see him get bit. We don't know where he got bit.
No, just
So
random out and about.
just out and about.
Oscorp doesn't even exist in the MCU.
There we
Where
go.
did the spider come from?
There we go. There we go. We
Who
need
was
the origins.
cuz the whole point of Spider-Man is that they were trying to genetically engineer a super soldier because of Captain America. Like that's like every company wants to make their own super soldier to sell to the military.
Yeah. And then that would have tied in with Sentry.
So yeah, and then everyone wants to capture him and experiment on him because he's a super soldier. They want to see what made him so strong so that they can sell it to the military.
You've got your through line, and it was from the origins that you apparently already knew
Literally.
but didn't want to include.
Fucking dickheads.
It's the fans' fault. It's the fans' fault. They bitch too much. I don't want to
Yeah.
see the origins. I know how this person becomes that person, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't, because it could be different. Fuck you.
They've proven we do not know.
No. None of us know a fucking thing. And
Very
that's why
true.
we're here talking about it. God. I think that's it. I think we can wrap up there.
Yeah.
I think we've covered all bases for now. Until
Should we try to do the intro again?
should we try for the outro?
No.
We'll try and do the intro again for the outro.
Oh,
I'm happy with
I don't want to do it. Never mind.
No, I'm happy with the intro just being you going ARP